All good.
Welcome back to the Jeremiah Show. River Toussaint. She's my special guest today. We're having a great conversation, getting to know her a little bit. And White Rabbit Object, that's her band, her music. We're listening to Jolene's Reply, another one of my favorites by River Toussaint. That's a single out, and you can find it Spotify. You can find it everywhere you get music, but you can also find it on her website. There's videos. There's all that good stuff that you need. So listen to this. Rolling Stone praised River for her late night decadence and velvet tones. I couldn't agree more. She's got all of those and more. Welcome back, River.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Rolling Stone magazine also said, great song, great production, great band, great backing vocals. But the lead vocal is simply stunning. If the likes of Amy Winehouse, Beth Hart, and Janis Joplin are your bag, get a load of excuse me. Uh, they say rabbit, but River Toussaint-Rabbitte.
Got it.
Solo artist, as a solo artist, I just want to point out, in case I've confused anybody, you'll find River under River Toussaint, and then as under White Rabbit Object, River Toussaint-Rabbitte. Is that correct? Did I
You
have
got
that
it.
right, Phil?
You
Okay.
are on it.
All right. Good. All right. White Rabbit Object. They've released two 5-song EPs, Whiskey Hotel Tango and Romeo Bravo Bravo Tango. They are working on a new EP, which we're going to tease you with till the very end. We'll talk about that in our next segment. Rolling Stone's comments comparing you to some of the greats, but also just giving you the credit due that you deserve. Really great comments there.
Thank
Where did
you.
you learn to sing, River?
Um, that's a good question. Nobody in my family is musical. When I was a kid, I really wanted to play the flute and ended up taking piano lessons instead. And my piano teacher at the time noticed that like I would like sing while I played. And she told my mom, she's like, maybe you should try like vocal lessons with her. And so I'm classically trained. But as I got older, like maybe, I don't know, 23, 22, 23 is really when I like my voice changed. Like something about it really like deepened and sort of developed this depth. And I don't know if it just came from like the pains of life
Hmm.
or I don't know, copious amounts of of practice and time. But yeah, I don't really know how my voice sort of like welded
But
itself into what it is today, but I'm grateful that it sounds like this because when I was a kid, like my voice was so nasal, it was wild.
but
But
there was
yeah.
a transition, a definite transition, a growth.
Yeah, and I really like you like if I were to like play you like demos of things that I did as like a 20-year-old and then I played you what I did when I was 14, like there's significantly less of a difference between like 14 and 20 as there is between like 20 and 23. Like there's a significant change in my voice and I really don't know like what caused it, but like it was almost like maybe it was me trusting myself more to go to those depths and to challenge myself to sort of try new things. But yeah,
You
it's
mentioned
been trial
maybe,
and error.
yeah. Um, it's interesting because it's a practice, isn't it? Just like an instrument, you get better as you practice, as you use your instrument, and you've got such a powerful instrument there with your vocals. You mentioned just briefly there in that description of the transition that maybe it was because life was tough or life was rough. Was
Yeah.
life hard and for you as a young artist? Was there? I mean, it's already hard enough in your 20s, right? In your
Yeah.
late teens, to figure out who you are. But was there? Was it hard for you to come to the realization that this is what you're meant to do?
I
And
don't know that that was a hard realization. But I think that like in spite of that revelation that sort of came to me, like other things in life, I mean, we're just challenging, you know, your 20s, you're figuring out what it means to be like a full-fledged adult. And even as somebody that's like now in their early 30s, like I still sometimes wonder if I've got it like fully figured out. But I think that like we get two choices. Like when life happens to us, we either find a way to turn it into something that's, you know, kind of like turn your transgression into gold, or you let it suffocate you. And I just like I was never the person that like believed in like letting things like get to me in that type of way. And so I think that I've always been on the side of like, what can I do with this pain? What can I do with this? What can I do with these hard times? You know, how can I
Mhm.
make something really special out of them? It's kind of like when like a vase breaks. There's that Japanese art of like putting a bowl back together with gold. And so like I think about like I think about pain and hardship like that. Like, how do I turn this into something lovely again?
That's beautiful. I like that a lot. You're a solo artist. You record, you write, you put out solo music. What do you get from being a solo artist that that you don't get from the from a being in the band? What it's time for you. It's your music.
Sure.
Oh, what is that? What do you get from that that you can't get anywhere else? What does it do for
I
you?
I think that just on a human being level, that solitude of being in my own thoughts and spending time with my own thoughts, which is actually something I think that everybody should do to some degree, whether it's music or art or writing or self-reflection. Like my solo work is a way for me to sort of take time to reflect on the art that's important to me, and to take time on the things that I want to express as an artist. um, I also think too, like on a very like visceral level, you know, I've sort of come to the realization that my voice is capable of doing many different modes of music, and sometimes we don't explore all the modes in White Rabbit Object, which is cool because like we've, you know, we do a lot of sounds, but sometimes like I want to really lean hard on the jazz, and I want to lean hard on the vocal runs, and I want to tap into, you know, things that we're not necessarily, and that's not to say that we'll never do them as a band, but that we're not doing right in
Hmm.
the moment. And um I think that yeah, it's like any good relationship. Like you don't need each other, you want to be together, you know.
Yeah.
And so White Rabbit Object is something I want to be in, but I also recognize that like I have to stand independently of that too, and make music that feels good for me, the individual, as well. And I feel like I have got so much love and support and respect from Frank and the other guys in the band. And um yeah, it's really, I again, I just feel very lucky that I get to do all of this and to get to be able to express myself in White Rabbit Objects, and also as River the individual, the solo
Hmm.
artist.
How are you currently, like right now, feeding your creativity? And is there, do you have um, a system or a way to do that? Are you conscious of finding that creativity, or does it just come to you when it comes to you and you hope that you see it and recognize it and use it? What's your trick there? Because you,
That's a really interesting thought because I feel like I I don't think it should ever be forced, but also in the same vein, I do feel like creativity is a muscle that you have to flex and that you
Hmm.
have to keep using in order to keep it moving. And so I feel like, I mean, I'm human, you know, I go through lulls of time where, you know, but the fortunate thing for me is like I am consistently surrounded by another human being who's always having creative thoughts and always tapping into that. And so I think that at least for me, when I feel that my well has sort of run dry, like, you know, I lean into Frank and sort of take inspiration from what he's doing. And I think the feeling is sort of mutual with that as well. You know, we're always sort of serving each other in that way of providing each other with a reason to write, a reason to play, a reason to be creative, and we're very fortunate that we get to do that.
I'm glad you broke that rule that you had.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I think it's working out well for both of you.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
cool.
So you're also, I read this about you, a passionate advocate for survivors of domestic violence. You're recently an MC for a Chicago-based shelter's annual gala. You used your voice on and off stage to connect, empower, and inspire those in the audience. Why is this important to you? I mean, obviously, it's a very important cause. It's a very
Sure.
important thing to get behind, but what does it mean to you specifically? And
Yeah, man. You know, I think we all go through things. I think we watch people that we care about go through things, and um, I think that, you know, aside from using my voice to sing and to create music, like it's really especially important for me to give a voice to those that maybe feel like they don't have a voice, that are being silenced. And right now that looks like so many different things, you know, domestic violence and human trafficking being two of those things, but also like the LGBTQ plus population, you know, women, female identifying, you know, there's so many different groups, immigrants, and like I just feel like there are so many people that deserve to be outspoken about their truest self, and they're not allowed to be, or they're being forcefully shut down. And I just like I can't just like I can't sit on the sideline of something like that. And
yeah,
so I
giving
try to
your
make
voice. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
no, no,
interrupt
no,
you.
you're good. I think that like if you're able to be an ally, if you're in a position where like you are able to be an ally to somebody else, like you should take that seriously. And you should not necessarily ask like how do I be a better ally or what can I do for you? It's like like do your research, find ways to show up. You know, it's not, you know, when people lose their voices, it's not their they don't always know how to tell you how to advocate for them because they're trying to, you know, just survive the next day. And so I think the more that we educate ourselves on ways to be better friends and better allies, and you know, to people that need it, like I don't know, it just it feels like second nature to me. It just feels like something that, you know, is natural. Like
Hmm.
it's not even like a wow, I feel so passionate about it. It just feels like as a human being with a conscience and a human being that like recognizes that they are not the center of the universe, like we should be looking out for each other.
It's the
We're
right
all
thing
we've
to do.
got. We're all we've got.
Yeah,
That's it. We only have each other. And what are we going to do with that?
well said. And do you have, before we go to break here and play another song, do you have an organization that you support or that you want to steer people towards regarding this topic?
Yeah, absolutely. There are two organizations that I really two separate organizations that I really love, actually three. So A Safe Place, based out of Lake County, Illinois. They are Lake County's only comprehensive provider of services to victims of domestic violence and human trafficking. And right now, they are expanding. They are building more space for shelter clients to come and have their own apartments so that they get their dignity back. And so if you're able to support them, whether that's through volunteerism, finances, or your talent, I call it time, talent, and treasure, whatever you could give to them, that would be incredible. The other organization that I'm really, really passionate about, that's not to do with domestic violence or human trafficking, is the Daniel Murphy Scholarship Fund. They give high school scholarships to kids from historically underrepresented communities in Chicago to ensure that not only do they get mentors and an amazing private high school education, but that they get to go on to the college of their dreams, and that they have the support that they need from their community, from their mentors, from the schools that they attend, and that they feel represented in those spaces. So those are two things that I feel very passionately about, and so you should support
Great.
them.
I will. And I'd like to encourage everybody listening to do that as well. I'll put their websites in the copy here on the shelf for
Sounds
the
great.
podcast and on YouTube. So if you want to help and check them out, websites, just click the website. We're gonna go to break, our last break, one more down the rabbit hole by River Toussaint. Would you like to set this up for us at all?
Yeah, I think that these songs are just, they're a culmination of, you know, emotion, human experience, and that connectedness that we all feel in the chaos. And I hope that when you listen to these songs and this next song, that you feel connected to something, whether that's the music, or the music makes you feel connected to somebody else or something else in your life, that you feel less alone when you listen to this music.
Okay, that's a perfect setup. We're gonna listen to that right now once more down the rabbit hole by River Toussaint. We'll be right back for our final segment. Don't go anywhere.